Alright, we've got a lot of ground to cover, so let's just jump right into it. The new trailer for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is already showing us a vastly different look at the upcoming movie compared to the first bit of footage we got in December. We begin with a little girl cowering alone in her bedroom while a large scaly hand begins to stretch itself out in an effort to grasp what small prey it's found inside of this building. Now I want to take the time to comment on the cinematography and clear shift in both tone and style that these few shots have when compared to other films in the series. This image of the Indoraptor's shadow being cast behind the toy horse before opening its jaws and telling us what it actually is kicks the new footage off with a far more suspense-driven take on the photography than that of its predecessors. In fact, if I'm being totally honest, this new trailer harkens back to the first two Jurassic Park films in particular. And later shots really favor the Lost World's far darker approach to storytelling than the other films in the franchise. Our first look at the foot and sickle-shaped toe of the Indoraptor is revealed in a shot that is obviously reminiscent of the tapping from the raptors in the kitchen scene that we got in the original movie. And it's photography like this that have me extremely excited to see the film as soon as it's released. This image of the creature's arm stretched out, ready to grab hold of the girl, is extremely well shot and gives me a very old school Spielberg vibe, very similar to the kidnapping scene from his 1991 film, Hook. Now, I've been saying it for months, and I'm going to say it again. Juan Antonio Bayona's direction is uncomparable to any modern filmmaker that sets out to scare the audience. His film The Impossible depicted the tragic events of the Indian Ocean tsunami that hit Thailand in 2004, and his first movie, The Orphanage, is a very atmospheric horror experience that relies more on actual tension and earned fear than mere loud noises and jump scares. This is a film that has his name written all over it. After that initial scene, we transition to a far brighter and more casual Jurassic style while hearing Claire Dearing's monologue about the importance of the first time someone sees a dinosaur. This is clearly an acknowledgement of the Brachiosaurus reveal that Spielberg gave us in Jurassic Park, and we get a second look at that giant wandering sauropod directly after, with bright beams of light shining down its elongated neck. I want to point out the incredibly well-detailed CGI models and textures that this new film is showing off in its second trailer. And as someone who has made it abundantly clear several times that the original Jurassic Park is my favorite film of all time, I want to make a point of stating that the CGI that I see right here, right now, in this shot, is better than the CGI Brachiosaurus that we got in the first movie. I'm not going to do this trailer review without being 100% honest, and I'm not going to put myself in a box of peer perception that will do nothing but add a louder scream to an echo chamber. Jurassic Park to this day is the most groundbreaking and important landmark in visual effects for the film industry that exists, and it's certainly no slouch in convincing its audiences of seeing real living dinosaurs. But neither is the footage that I'm looking at right now. During the scene, we also get a brief look at the baryonyx that's being carried off of the island via helicopter, before another scene begins to shift the focus back to high tension and suspense, with Claire and Franklin's tracking of a hunting dinosaur. There's an incredibly gorgeous shot of hot lava dripping from the ceiling of a long tunnel, with the bright heat of this molten rock casting the image of a Spinosaurid snout into the audience's view. Interestingly, this creature is revealed after Franklin repeatedly asks whether or not the animal is a T-Rex, which makes this sudden illumination of an image that may be the dinosaur's sworn enemy, as far as the Jurassic Park franchise goes, to be one that I find really interesting. The Spinosaurus has its place in a few bits of marketing for this film, guys, and I'm going to be going over them in this video. After this, we see the baryonyx run out of the tunnel, and after our two protagonists, before Franklin opens his mouth to emit a very feminine scream. I'm not too crazy about it, but I ultimately understand why it's there. The Jurassic Park series has always had a very big population of fans that are children, which is understandable considering it's a series of films built around the recreation of dinosaurs. I know that for me as a kid, that's what got me into it. And it would be incredibly stupid for the filmmakers not to add small moments of levity in what looks to be the darkest film since The Lost World. I have a strong feeling that these moments won't carry over into the parts of the movie that take place off of the island, and I think both the beginning and rest of this footage gives me the most evidence to support this. We then get another scene that was taken from the first trailer with added dialogue from Owen Grady, attempting to convince Blue to leave Nublar with him, telling her that she knows that she can't stay there. This is a small part that intrigued me quite a bit after my initial viewing, once I considered the obvious instinct that would be present in animals that are near areas that are about to undergo cataclysmic events. It's common for the survival instincts of these animals to kick in and for them to flee the area once a volcanic eruption, tsunami, or earthquake is able to be sensed. But the dinosaur dinosaurs on Isla Nublar have literally nowhere to go. As far as we know, the nearest islands are in the Los Cinco Muertes chain, with Site B being 87 miles away. I can imagine the amount of trauma and anxiety that these animals are undergoing to be quite severe. And in fact, after we get to see the island blow up, we actually see Zia Rodriguez administer medical aid to what looks like a very ill Blue. New information was revealed on the Dinosaur Protection Group's website that is being used to promote this film, and it details most of our new protagonists as well as their roles in the expedition quite well. Daniela Pineda's character being one with a veterinary background that she acquired while attending Berkeley. The animatronics that were shown briefly during the behind-the-scenes teaser that we got a few months ago gave me high hopes of seeing well-made practical effects in this movie, and this trailer did not disappoint. The next major scene that got my attention was one that featured Claire driving a large truck off of the dying island and what looks like the ramp of a boat to me. We follow this with the continuation of Owen and Claire's approaching of the T-Rex inside of the cargo container from previous footage, and get a great shot of Owen jumping through the jaws of the now woken Rex right before they get a chance to snap shut and kill him. Rafe Spall's character can be heard saying that both Jurassic World and the island are now in the past, before exclaiming that he's now ready to show us the future. This segues into an elaborate bidding show where the Indoraptor's name is plastered on a large blue wall with several currencies being ranked alongside it. Toby Jones' character is revealed to having ties to the obviously nefarious operation, and in what I believe to be one of the most underrated shots of the trailer, we see the opening of two large doors with a visible dinosaur behind them within a cage that later gets transported out for these auction attendees to gawk at. Both of these shots instantly reminded me of a scene that was shown in the Spielberg-produced children's film We're Back, A Dinosaur Story. Towards the end of that film, the friendly dinosaurs are reverted back to their primal state before they get carted out and into the Hell Circus, where the audience looks on in terror at their introduction. As a kid, I absolutely loved this admittedly mediocre movie. My third birthday even had the poster art plastered on the cake. Owen, Claire, and the little girl from earlier are shown looking down upon this group of suits before the girl tells us that this new dinosaur was created by whatever outfit runs these facilities. Next, another excellently photographed shot has Owen back up against the wall while looking on at this dinosaur's invasion of what looks like the young girl's room. Again, the jaws of its shadow are cast onto the scenery before we get a shot of Blue coming into the room to attack the much larger and formidable Indoraptor. Our next shot is of Claire holding a laser-sighted rifle, giving a clear homage to Sarah Harding's tranking of the Buck Rex in The Lost World, before we see the Tyrannosaurus roar at a hovering helicopter that moves directly above it. I can't quite make out what's dangling off of the helicopter's runner or ladder, but it looks like the aircraft barely got away from this dinosaur that was about to subdue it. Another telling shot features a man running away from a stampede of various different dinosaurs, including what looks like a Styracosaurus, Gallimimus Ankylosaurus, and Triceratops right behind him. Later, what looks to be an Allosaurus actually runs to the man's left, coming up right behind the Gallimimus that had fled earlier. And immediately after, we're shown the gaping jaws of what looks to be another Baryonyx. The next shot that needs to be addressed is an updated special effects image of the Indoraptor's very scary jaws. Now, we've actually seen this shot before, back when it was in its bare-bones animatronic form, but it looks like now that they've reached post-production, some CGI additions have been made on the image that's been circulated heavily in the past couple of months. A large amount of thick saliva is shown dangling amongst the Indoraptor's teeth, and a bright orangish stripe can be seen adorning the dinosaur's neck. This stripe can also be found in an earlier scene where Blue first attacks this hybridized beast. We get a final shot of the girl grabbing hold of something and looking terrified before Pteranodon lifts up one of the soldiers and carries him off and away from the grounds. I have a feeling that this scene featuring the girl will probably be around the same sequence of events that leads to Owen grabbing hold of her while the two of them are dangling off the side of a building. And in the final shot of the trailer, we get a very Alien or Resident Evil surprise when the Indoraptor lunges out to take down and kill one of the facility's hired guns. But interestingly enough, new information on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom doesn't stop there. As soon as the trailer dropped, I went directly to the DGP website to check and see if anything had changed. And my boy, it looks completely different. There are quite a few new pictures that have been released showcasing the dinosaur rights activists' mission to try and encourage others to save the dinosaurs from a volcanic death that they will most certainly get in this movie if they aren't evacuated ASAP. It's revealed within the site that Jurassic World had 30 dinosaur veterinarians on the island that would monitor the animals' health during the park's operation. But now that the park is closed, the animals are facing major problems. My favorite image on the website so far happens to be one that shows an outline of Nublar with several different dinosaur names on it. The words, "Dinosaurs are mortal, cruelty is timeless," are listed at the top of the image. Now the word cruelty has been highlighted red, along with the listing of a few dinosaur names that we can assume may have lived on the island. Styracosaurus, Mamenchisaurus, Euplocephalus, Telorosaurus, Spinosaurus, Corythosaurus, Ceratosaurus, Edmontosaurus, Segosaurus, Herrerasaurus, Deinonychus, and Lizothosaurus are all highlighted in this red, while all of the other dinosaurs get the normal black font to help distinguish their names. Now, many believe that this image may be implying that the dinosaurs that have their names highlighted in red could be an indication of them having already gone extinct. Personally, I'm not sure what I make of this just yet, but the reveal of a Spinosaurus having existed on Nublar is enough of a tease to get me smiling as a lifelong fan of the series. Even though Jurassic Park 3 is my least favorite film in the franchise, I do love these nods to previous films and find it very fun for fans to look at and talk about. The one thing that really puzzles me after seeing all of this information is the listing of both the Styracosaurus and the Pachyrhinosaurus that we get in this image. Now, unless this one-horned ceratopsian is actually supposed to be a pachyrhino, I think the extinction theory may not make a lot of sense. Mainly because the Styracosaurus would have been thought to have died out, but yet here they are running about and doing dinosaur things. I'll be doing some much needed research into this site in order to better serve you guys in presenting what new evidence we have. As for the new trailer, I honestly loved it. For those that think it showed too much, I can understand completely where you may be coming from, but like I said, they hid all of that stuff away from you in the first trailer because they wanted to keep it a surprise. The complaints people had of being underwhelmed can be directly attributed to much of the new footage from the second and third acts that got unveiled during the Super Bowl. When I saw this trailer, I saw a well-directed and highly ambitious breakout story for the Jurassic Park franchise to explore, and it really impressed me on a multitude of levels. It showcased its meticulous attention to an almost dreamy sense of nightmarish detail that we have never before had the pleasure of seeing within the confines of a Jurassic movie. When they said that they'd be looking for a Spanish horror film director, I initially thought that they'd hired Guillermo del Toro, but hiring Bayona as the man to take charge in this job really seems to have given it a very dark and very vicious tone that I think fits his style perfectly. I really can't wait to see this movie and honestly think it's what this franchise needs if it ever wants to break away from the normal dinosaurs on an island plot that we've explored several times in the past. Now before I go, I want to thank both my game wardens and InGen executives, as well as my new park worker and engine hunter that have recently shown me support on Patreon, Mike Sherlock and Chase Acker. It seriously means the world to have such incredible support, and I can't thank you enough for everything that you guys do to help me build this channel up and make it better than ever. Seriously guys, I'm really grateful. Now I want to take the time to thank you all for watching this video, and hope that you all enjoyed today's content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope you'll consider subscribing if you're interested in hearing from me again. I'll see you all in the next video guys, and as always, take it easy.